The Gamasutra Job board is the most diverse, active and established board of its kind for the video game industry. Here is just one of the many positions being advertised right now. Location: Los Angeles, California. We are looking for a systems designer to join our team. At Within, we move fast in a rigorous and creative environment. The right candidate will be an inventor, optimizer, and collaborator who possesses persistence and determination to create beloved experiences. Above all, the systems designer must be passionate about driving results and making great products. What you will do as a systems designer: you will be responsible for the development and execution of systems that captivate our users. You will be trusted to fully understand the people we serve and apply your expertise toward deeply engaging them. If you share our belief that virtual and augmented reality will be a major part of the future, and you think you can help us create that future, we do love to meet you. The impact you will make, what you will need to be successful. Bonus points for interested. Apply now. Whether you are just starting out, looking for something new, or just seeing what's out there, the Gamasutra Job board is the place where game developers move ahead in their careers. Gamasutra Job board is the most diverse, most active, and most established board of its kind in the video game industry, serving companies of all sizes, from indie to AAA. Looking for a new job? Get started here. Are you a recruiter looking for talent? Post jobs here. 5 years ago, Eidos Montreal BRUGHT Deus Ex life with the release of Human Revolution, a game that was designed to, among other things, play with themes of transhumanism and why people make the choices they do. Now the studio has released a follow-up, Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, that purports to show a possible way those choices could play out. A near future where mechanically augmented people are segregated from the rest of society. In a recent conversation, executive narrative director DeMarle told Gamasutra that Mankind Divided was written to hold a mirror up to the world and expose it. That's a notable challenge for any developer. And DeMarle says Eidos Montreal had to significantly change the way it operates and bring more writers in-house to produce the storylines. Conversations on emails scattered throughout Mankind Divided. From a certain perspective, that's actually the easy part. The harder part comes in trying to reflect real-world issues in a respectful and meaningful way. Mankind Divided's marketing initiative put a significant emphasis on the themes of segregation and discrimination that ran through the game's narrative, referencing real-world issues like apartheid and the Black Lives Matter movement in their promotional campaigns. The game and its team have received significant criticism over this, and DeMarle says criticism is valuable when it's fair and fairly delivered. What follows is our full conversation about the art and effort of writing Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, one that sheds some light on how a game that treats with conspiracy theories, terrorism and fear is written in a time when the world seems awash in conspiracy theories, terrorism and fear. DeMarle, as the executive narrative director for the Deus Ex franchise, that basically means I am in charge of all the story and all the narrative created for Deus Ex. So for Human Revolution, that meant I was the lead writer and led a team of writers, and on Mankind Divided I am leading an even bigger team of writers, and working with all the departments to basically make sure that the story is infused throughout the game, or that the multiple stories get put into the game as the player experiences them. Good. It's quite hot today in Montreal. and it gets very humid on this coast. So I am attempting to stay cool. Well, that's a big question. Well, a lot has changed. We always kind of talked about doing human revolution. And we have said that when we did human revolution, we kind of had to be naive. And when we did the next game, which is now mankind divided, we have to have courage. So we learned a lot. We had no idea what we were getting into, really, when we started human revolution. Just in terms of how do you reinvent the Deus Ex license? How do you reboot it? And from that game we did actually learn an awful lot. And when that game ended, we kind of said, okay, what did we learn from it? You know, we always go through that process at the end of the game. To say what did we do right? What did we fail at? What did we want to fix? So we went through that. And some of the things we wanted to fix this time around well, now, I am forgetting a few. Because I have been on vacation for about a month. Thank you. So anyway, one of the things we definitely wanted to fix was boss fights. And we kind of just wanted to make some other improvements in the gameplay. We wanted to make the combat more visceral, more fun. Because we thought we got the stealth right on the last game. But the combat was a little lacking. So we wanted to make those pillars equal. And then, from a narrative perspective, we really wanted to go a lot deeper with the story in the world. We still want to make the main story accessible, so you can play through the game and understand it. At a bare minimum, you can understand it. But also, the more that you dive into the world, and the more you do sidequests, the more you are going to discover so much more to this world. And we really wanted to push the choices further. Especially for the branching of the narrative and for example, in a lot of the sidequests, we really pushed so that you can end a sidequest in 10 minutes based on your choices. If you push further you can actually discover new characters, and added intricacies to the plot. And then some of those can actually come in and actually affect your critical path experience. So we really wanted to push a lot of that forward. From the narrative perspective, one of the things that happened was on Human Revolution, we had a number of writers, but they were mostly all contract. Some of them worked in-house for the whole time, and we had one who was in London. But we had a lot who were just there for short periods and left. So this time around we had a bigger in-house narrative team. We had a lot more writers, which suddenly meant a lot more managing of writers. And then to tackle the world and how much deeper and bigger we wanted to do it, we kind of had to split up and create new teams. So for example, we had a sidequest team. We had a sidequest team on Human Revolution 2, but it was really small. And here we had a much bigger team, who really worked independently. They had one writer assigned to them and he dealt with a lot. He basically wrote most of the sidequests, and yet he worked very closely with the sidequest designers, the implementers, etc. We also had specific writers working on the debates, the social boss fights, as we call them. We had a level designer, who kind of had the environmental storytelling, so her job was to populate the prop city hub with stories that were going on, come up with ideas and then work with the narrative team and the art teams, etc. to get things dressed correctly, get emails to go in there, that kind of thing. And the critical path was in the hands of certain people, and then we had what we called the living, breathing world team, and they were the ones going in and actually putting in all the monologues and the dialogues you overhear and stuff. So one of the ways we approached it is by putting people in charge of different things. And then my job was to ensure the consistency, to ensure that everyone was telling the right story from different perspectives. It's funny. I have been in the industry now 20 years and my opinions on that continue to change and develop. I definitely think it's very important to have writers in-house. If you are doing a very story-driven game, you have to have writers in-house, and the writers who are in-house will end up doing more than just the writing. They actually have to help implement and get their writing into the game, get the dialogues into the game, from an under-the-hood perspective. Obviously they are not part of the sound team, putting the actual WAV files in or anything, but still, and by doing that,